What's one thing you would never pay the cheaper option for? Work boots. I spend 50 hours a week in muddy, uneven terrain and must have dry, comfortable feet. Same here. Electrician working 50 hours a week. Comfortable boots are so important. The reason that the rich were so rich, Vimes reasoned, was because they managed to spend less money. Take boots, for example. He earned $38 a month, plus allowances. A really good pair of leather boots cost $50. But an affordable pair of boots, which was sort of ok for a season or two, and then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. Those were the kind of boots Vimes always bought, and wore until the soles were so thin that he could tell where he was in Ankh. More pork on a foggy night by the feel of the cobbles. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years' time, while the poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. This was the Captain Samuel Vimes' boots theory of socio-economic unfairness. Terry Pratchett, Men-at-Arms, the best social commentary in a comedy series ever. It's expensive to be poor. Compare unit price on a huge pack of toilet paper at Costco to a 4-pack at the grocery store. The catch is that you have to shell out more at one time and have room to store it. Desk chair. Got a good ergonomic breathable one. It's an absolute game changer. The cheap ones that try to be massive director chairs with all that padding that ends up flattening after a year are not worth it, and as it degrades progressively, you don't really notice until you get a good one. For people thinking about upgrading, check out Crandall Office Furniture or any other reputable, refurbished or remanufactured top-tier company. They're still expensive, but much more affordable for the same excellent quality. My husband used to complain daily about back pain from working at home. I got him a steel case V2 for about half off. It was so good, like tampon. Commercial, frolicking in white short good. He immediately got himself a second one for gaming. They look like any other desk chair, but holy hell, the difference is crazy. It's been about 2 years and that shit is still perfect. I literally ruined my back with a cheap Amazon Basics office chair. I pretty much lived in it doing college online during COVID, until one morning my back suddenly decided moving was agonizing and I ended up basically bedbound for weeks. It's still not the same, and I can now throw it out just from bending down, which was not the case before. I'm only 23, by the way, so yeah, at least get a chair with good lumbar support. My job sent me home March 2020 for 2 weeks, and I used a really crappy Staples chair. After 2 weeks, when they decided it would be 6 weeks, I was allowed to come in to get my Obersform chair. The difference was huge. When they laid off my entire division, we only had to send the CPU and our key card back. To me, that chair is worth its weight in gold. I counted it as part of my severance package. Trash bags. Once you have one rip on you, you'll never want to cheap out again. Contractor bags really are that bit. Anything that touches me and something else while I'm working. Hammer, work boots, shoes and gloves. Buy the best. Work boots are so important. Never cheap out on your feet. I work at a utility company where dudes don't give a shit about anything. After trudging through all kinds of nasty bullshit for 6 years, I decided to be the only dude wearing high, lace-up boots, super thick and heavy leather with giant tire rubber sole. The other guys give me shit about looking like a stripper due to the tallness, but I don't worry about snakes biting my ankles or sharp metal stabbing my leg or dysentery-soaked socks. Also, I have the sexiest boots, so I win any argument by default. If any gas company man can give up his day job to make a living with his feet on OnlyFans, it's probably gonna be me. I think we can add toilet paper to that list. Safety equipment. Stairs in OSHA. That can be a little nuanced. Safety glasses, fine cheap. You see pictures all the time of exploded zip disks stuck in the glasses. But that should never been in the rotating plane of that thing anyway. Earplugs. If they plug the ear and beat the specs, what more can you ask for? Fall protection harness? Yeah, not ordering that on Alibaba. Ask the US Army about the necessity of good earplugs and fail. There's a helpline for people suffering from tinnitus, supposed to offer support and advice. I called it once and the line just kept ringing. What? Literally tens of thousands of soldiers have tinnitus and partial deafness because Threem fucked them and lied about their earplug. What? What? Work boot shoes. 100% in the trades for 20 years, a majority wearing cheap Walmart boots. Finally pulled the trigger on a pair of Thorogoods 7 years ago, and it was life-changing. These are what I use. Orgasm. Expensive but totally worth the price. Computer power supply. Came here to say this. If you get a cheapo sue from an unheard of brand, please do your research if you are new to the world of PC hardware and are building a computer. It could take your whole system with it if the pusu fails, and in even worse situations, start an electrical fire. A bed. You spend 1/13 of your life sleeping, and without a good night's rest, the day is pretty much shit. The average mattress is good for around 10 years, so when you break down the cost over that length of time, it's always worth spending more upfront. Even after 10 years, it works like a charm. My parents have had their mattress for 15 years. They refuse to get rid of it because it's not sold anymore, and they struggle to sleep on any other mattress. I heard a saying that you should never skimp on things that go between you and the ground. You know, like mattresses, carpets, prostitutes, shoes, that kind of thing. Parachute. For sale. Parachute. Used once, never open. Slightly soiled. Plunger. It's the difference between $8 and $12. $15. Used a cheap one once and it was not a great experience. Tattoos. They're gonna be there forever after all. Good tattoos aren't cheap. Cheap tattoos aren't good. Shitty tattoos for reference. Shoes. Very important for foot health and safety. Toilet paper. Came here to say this one. If I got a deal with the cheapest tissue paper in every public bathroom, why the hell would I bring that into my private bathroom? I would say brakes for your car. On a related note, tires. Came here to say this one. If I got a deal with the cheapest tissue paper in every public bathroom, why the hell would I bring that into my private bathroom? Menstrual products. Fire extinguishers. When it comes to pads, I actually prefer the cheap ones. Here in Ireland, the pricier brand is Always, which I find are like overly perfumed sandpaper, haha. Some of the cheaper brands were softer and less perfumed. I hated pretty much all of them though. Period panties and washable cloth pads are much nicer, which I guess are pricier up front, but not if you spread the cost over months of use. Brass. Tattoos, piercings, anything like that. Mattresses, food. Definitely the tattoo. Everyone who asks me if I had tried to get the price down just doesn't get it. It's art and it is done permanently on your body. Unless it is in a place that is almost always covered by clothing, and even the full, you want that to look the absolute best. If that means spending $100 more for someone with more experience, then do it. A wise man once told me, never get cheap on cheese. Some of the best advice I ever received. Yep, you end up using a lot less of the expensive cheese because it's way more flavorful. So not only better taste, but also healthier. Imagine thinking that the average person will eat less of a more flavorful food. Backpack. I'm an adult and I carry a backpack with me all the time. One that is comfortable and durable is a must. My hobbies. I don't fill my house with useless crap I don't need. Instead, I spend up on the things that make me happy, such as my golf clubs, gaming PC, and sim racing rig. Go all in on your happiness. Don't waste money on things you don't care about or things to impress other people. Condoms. Actually, there are laws on contraceptives. Each condom has to meet a specific standard, or you're not allowed to sell it. That means the cheapest condom you can get will perform perfectly fine. With the expensive ones, you're just paying for the brand and the fee. Cheap condoms could end up costing you a lot. Anything that goes between you and the ground. Shoes, beds, tires, chairs. You spend a lot of time in. These things can have long-term benefits if you have good quality equipment, or conversely, can have negative effects long-term if you cheap up. Cooking ingredients, it just leads to shittier food.